So what action would you like to see at a more immediate level then?
I think at a more immediate level, we need to see leadership from the Prime Minister. And again, that wasn't shown from the moment that that protest happened outside the Sydney Opera House. What we needed was the Prime Minister to say, I get it, I recognise that this is a stain on our national character, and to stand up and do something about it. He was missing in action then, and he's been missing in action ever since. So we want leadership from the Prime Minister. He's the one who holds that title and is in the office. And again, he's been missing in action.
What do you think he should do now? We're hearing more of those family members of victims of the Bondi tragedy come out to criticise the Albanese government. Where to from here? How does he show that he stands with the Jewish community?
There's only one test for him right now, which is to recall Parliament early and to pass the terms of reference for a federal royal commission. Anything less than that is not good enough. And I think he should be held to account for that throughout this term if he's going to be stubborn and bloody-minded about it.
We've seen the Labor Israel Action Committee telling the New South Wales Labor Secretary in an explosive letter that anti-Semitic attitudes within the Labor Party need to be stamped out. What do you make of that?
I'm not surprised, but again, anti-Semitism exists throughout our society and has existed throughout history. So full credit to those in the Labor Party who have come forward to say that. And again, full credit to Labor backbenchers who've called for the Royal Commission, or Labor members and former members who've stood up and said they want the Prime Minister to do better. I don't want this to be a partisan Labor-Liberal issue. We want national leadership at this time, and we need it from the Prime Minister.
You've spoken about crackdown on civil liberties not necessarily being the answer. Would you make of the New South Wales Premier's moves then in the weeks gone by?
Well, it concerns me. He's shown great leadership, and again, it's in contrast to the Prime Minister. But again, if only that was the answer to combating this, if only it was. I'm not convinced that it is. And again, we should always tread carefully when we're restricting freedom of speech or freedom of movement. There's compromises that you can do. For instance, blanket bans on protest. You know, that's a really strict thing for a democracy to do. But there is a time and a place for protests. I'm here in Melbourne. We see them weekly dominating the city. I think that is pushing the envelope too far. But if there was designated places at designated times and you had boundaries on overt hate speech, then that's the sort of compromise that I think fair-minded people in a liberal democracy will and should tolerate. But we should tread carefully on finding out where that line is.
We're just running out of time, but before I let you go, your friend, former colleague, Liberal MP for Higgins, Katie Allen, recently passed away after a long battle with cancer. How will you remember her?
I got to know Katie particularly well on the recent campaign, Menzies and Chisholm, where she was the candidate. We're neighbouring, we had very similar constituencies. So we were at a lot of events together, and I was desperately looking forward to being in the Parliament with her. I looked over, as you do when someone passes, the recent text message you'd sent to each other. And one of the last ones I did, I said, oh, it was so good to see your smiling face on a trip that she had with her family. And she said, I'm trying to squeeze every living minute out of life. And if that's Katie, and if that's a message she can leave amongst many other things that she's done as a doctor, as a parliamentarian, as a mum, as a wife, then this world is better for Katie having been in it.
She was a wonderful woman. I greatly enjoyed doing stories with her. Keith Wolahan, thank you so much for your time.